So I am what many may call a millennial Z, which means I was literally born right on the cusp of the two. You can say it's a pretty confusing life I live, but regardless, being as though I have this very unique experience, I've noticed that we, as a generations, are currently experiencing something that we've potentially never faced before. And that's that a large sample size of young people are discovering their faith before their parents even have, which praise God for those deep and radical conversions, especially at such young of an age, because it truly is such a gift. But I think it's also okay to recognize that that swap can put us in a pretty weird position, to say the least. And because of that unnatural switch in the hierarchy of the family, we as a child can be filled with a lot of guilt and pressure, and just like all of these thoughts of, is this now my responsibility? Like, have I been appointed with the ginormous task of converting my own parents? Just like all of these thoughts, right, that can ultimately lead to hopelessness and fear. But let's go ahead and hit the pause button on all of those feelings, because I want to take a look at what the church actually says about the unique role we play as child, regardless of our age, because the deepest truth about the family is that each member plays a vital role in the household. And yeah, that includes you. So the Catechism of the Catholic Church states that the child's role is as follows. And bear with me, I'm gonna read some fancier and bigger words, but I'll summarize it all in just a second. So the Catechism says, we are obligated to honor and respect all those whom God, for our good, has vested with his authority. I'm sure we've all heard that before from the fourth commandment, to honor thy father and thy mother. But if we take a look at another document like Pope St. John Paul II's encyclical titled Familiaris Consortio, which just means the fellowship of the family, he brings even more clarity to our roles, and he says, there should be an educational exchange between parents and children, where both give and receive. Children offer a specific and irreplaceable contribution to the construction of an authentically human and Christian family by means of loving, respecting, and being obedient towards their parents. He continues on to say that all members of the family, each according to his or her own gift, have the grace and responsibility of building the communion of persons, which makes the family a school of deeper humanity. I love that wording, like this idea that the family is being equated to a school, because ultimately that's exactly what it is, right? It's this exchange of love, not only from parent to child, but also from sibling to sibling, grandparent to grandchild, child to parent, just like this never-ending web of thoughts and experiences and love. But to translate all of that into layperson terms, what he's saying is that from the eldest in the family to the youngest, our mere existence, just like our model, are necessary for the sanctification of one another. Do you understand that? We have the capacity of making each other saints. So the child's role, I would say, is very important, and it's one that we have to tread with a lot of reverence and with a lot of charity and a lot of respect. But I really want to make it a point to say that nowhere in our role does it say to instruct our parents in the faith or ensure that they're living all of these things out. That would be a lot of them to ask of us. But what it is actually saying is that through our experience, through our life, through our love of them, the Lord works. Okay, so I'm sure we've all heard Mother Teresa saying, if you want to change the world, start at home. But I want to take a different approach to that saying by saying, allow the home to be yourself, right? And the world, your family. So if you want to change your family, start in your own inner home. Most of the time, our own inner shortcomings, whether they be a lack of patience or self-control, those things can inhibit the ways that we love our family. So go ahead and allow the family to be the place where God heals and he shapes and helps us to take on the characteristics of Christ himself, because it's in the family where we are particularly called to love like Christ, which means totally, selflessly, 100%. So don't wallow in the sorrow that may come from a loved one not practicing the faith, but instead hold firmly to your role and remember that non-believers don't read the Bible, they read us.